In the tranquil hills of ancient India, nestled between flowering Bodhi trees and meandering rivers, there lived a boy named Anav. He was a curious soul with eyes full of questions and a heart restless for greatness. Every day, Anav would watch merchants trading in the market, scholars debating in the town square, and warriors training under the rising sun. Success, he thought, must be loud, loud like applause, bright like gold, swift like an arrow. But Anav was not rich, nor was he strong. He didn't have titles or fame. He had something else, a deep longing to find meaning and peace. One day, Anav heard that the Buddha would be visiting a nearby village. People spoke of him as a man who had no palace yet was greater than kings, no armies, yet his words conquered minds. Intrigued, Anav walked miles barefoot through dusty paths and thorny woods to see him. When Anav reached the gathering, he saw the Buddha sitting beneath a Bodhi tree, his presence calm like still water, his gaze deeper than the ocean. As the crowd dispersed after the sermon, Anav approached and asked, "O enlightened one, I want to succeed. I want to be someone the world remembers, but I do not know how." The Buddha looked at him gently and said, "Come, walk with me." The seed beneath the soil, they walked in silence through a grove of trees. Buddha stopped and pointed to a sprout barely peeking through the earth. "Do you see this young plant?" he asked. "Yes," replied Anav. It did not scream to grow, it did not rush. It pushed silently through the soil, inch by inch, day by day. Its strength lies not in how fast it grows, but in how deep its roots go. Anav blinked, unsure. "But isn't success about being seen?" The Buddha smiled. "What you see is the result. What you don't see is the cause. Patience is the root. Noise is the flower, the archer and the wind." The next day, Buddha took Anav to a field where a young archer was training. The boy fired arrows swiftly, missing the target every time. Frustrated, he cursed the wind. "Watch him," Buddha whispered. Later, an older archer stepped forward. He stood silently for a long time. Then, in a single breath, he released the arrow. It struck the bullseye. "How did he succeed?" asked Anav. "He waited," Buddha said. "He did not fight the wind. He understood it. A person who rushes fails, but one who waits with purpose hits the mark." The silent potter weeks passed. Anav began living with the monks, learning their ways, silence, discipline, mindfulness. Yet he still felt restless. One day, he visited a potter's shed. The potter molded clay slowly, letting it rest, shaping it again, placing it in fire. Anav asked, "Can't you make pots faster?" The potter laughed. "Clay breaks when rushed. True form comes through waiting." The Buddha later said, "Your goals are like clay. Without patience, they will collapse. True success must survive the fire, the mountain, and the pebble." Anav once climbed a small hill and looked up at a great mountain. He sighed. "I wish I was already at the top." The Buddha replied, "Would you fly there and miss the climb?" Anav thought, "But the climb is hard." "And that is why it changes you," Buddha said. "Every step strengthens your legs, deepens your breath, and teaches you humility. Success is not the peak, it is who you become on the way." The man who grew nothing. In a nearby village lived a man who planted seeds and gave up when they didn't sprout in a week. He cursed the soil, blamed the rain, and left. Another man planted the same seeds but came daily, watered them, removed weeds, and waited. Years later, the first man still complained. The second man had an orchard. Buddha turned to Anav and said, "Many want fruit, Few nurture the tree, the quiet river. Anav once asked, "Why don't you ever speak of victory, riches, or glory?" Buddha led him to a river. It flowed quietly, nourishing life along its path. "Do you hear it?" he asked. "No," said Anav, "yet it shapes mountains and carves valleys. Power need not shout." The day of doubt. One night, Anav felt defeated. "Master," he whispered, "I've meditated, worked, waited. Still, I'm no closer to greatness." The Buddha said nothing. Instead, he lit a small oil lamp. "This flame," he said, "flickers. You doubt it will last, but each moment it burns steadily." He handed it to Anav. "Walk to the temple without letting it die." Along the dark path, Anav stumbled, shielded the flame from wind, balanced it through uneven steps. When he arrived, the flame still burned. "You did not focus on the goal," said Buddha. "You focused on the present moment. That is how success is achieved." The lotus in the mud. Anav once asked, "Why is life full of problems?" The Buddha pointed to a blooming lotus in a muddy pond. "It grows only in the mud." Thank you for watching.